to us. So, product planning. When a designer, it's called by its manager, or the designers, they are called by managers. And they say, you know what, we have a new project coming, and this is the briefing. The first question that I ask you, who makes the briefing? Who writes down the briefing? Who decides how this briefing has to be made? And the briefing, as you know, it's the ABC of how we have to make the car, what we have to do, for who we have to do it, and when it's coming out into production. Therefore, it gives us a lot of information, because we're gonna go from the basic information to start sketching to the most important information that will provoke the organization of a planning, project planning. And when we talk about project planning, we talk about costs, timing, technology, engineering team, suppliers, design management, designer creativity, clinic studies, a lot of things. Of course, it's a project that starts. Rajat, yes, learned a lot about. Okay, thank you, Rajat. Thanks to you too. So, product planning makes the briefing. Why? Because the product planning team within an automobile company, group, or any company, also Apple has product planning. A small company like Logitech that makes the webcam in front of me, or in front of me on the other side, okay, also has a product planning. Just like they also have a marketing department. Maybe it's going to be small in their case, but they do have it. And product planning is the entity that knows the market, okay, that has under control the whole lineup of whole cars that are produced by a brand. And because they have the control of all these since years, with marketing department, they study the market. So marketing, as we said last time, brings a lot of research and tells you the age of the people, who is gonna buy, how much money they want to spend, and stuff like that. They bring all that information, whether it's a specific country or it's a part of the world. Like, for example, we call the BRIC countries, everything is Latino American countries, okay? Or today it's called also LATAM, Latino America. Or Europe, okay? Whatever. Or the Asian countries. So they make those studies. And they develop a lot of files with a lot of information, as we said last week. But what happens after? That it's true that they share this with design and designers, but it's also true that the first client of all this type of information, it's the people from product planning, because they take all that information, they process that information according to their professionality and their experience, and therefore they are in measure to write down a briefing saying, we have to come out in 2028 with a small car for 4 people that has to be only a town car, fully electric, because they have all the studies done by marketing that will illustrate to them how society and trends are moving, which is the orientation, and therefore the experts in the company that decide what type of car then we have to do by 2028, so anticipating, the trend the best we can, of course, because future nobody knows. It's the product planning department or team that develops that information. So they get that information from marketing, put that information in their studios, develop that information, they write down the briefing, and after they come with a document, which is the project briefing, and then they start to discussing this briefing with other people within the company. For example, design department. uh, engineering department, because the briefing automatically will push some new technology. Why? Because we go from a small, I don't know, 4 inches screen into a car dashboard to the computer screen like Tesla did 10 years ago in the car. They're actually placed over there. If you make such a big change, I know that for you it might look stupid, but into the car design and engineering department, to change those two screens with two technologies that are completely different, with different type of electronics, it's completely, it's a, how can I say, it's a big progress. And when you make a big progress, then you have to apply lots of changes under the dashboard. The dashboard will be designed completely differently, of course, because you don't have to integrate, but you will have probably a floating screen on the dashboard. Maybe because you have a big screen, you have all the commands digitally, and therefore all the buttons and stuff, you can take them away. That's another big change. And you cannot do this in 2 years just like that. So that's why this briefing, that is a little bit also the list of, Christmas, of Santa Claus, it's a way to make a list of all the things we should have in the new project that will be in production, as we said, I don't know, 2028. But at the same time, we also have to confront ourselves with the engineering department, with people that are in charge of cost, because we cannot simply make this list and say, okay, that's what we do, and we don't talk anymore. No, because if something is too expensive, maybe our brand is not the right brand to spend all that money on something. Therefore, there is a lot of discussion at the very beginning of a project, before the research design. So before we are talking, we are in a step of the planning before that project planning will start officially. Okay, I will just make a little graphics very quickly, okay, so that I can be a little bit more clear with you. So if this is the timeline, okay, wait, the timeline, okay, we start here and we are in production here. We are here talking the briefing. You see, we are here. This means that the project did not start really yet. We take, I don't know, a couple of months, there are research, the marketing makes the research, product planning writes down things, design, start imagining what we could do for a project with those characteristics and that request. Then we meet again after, I don't know, 3 weeks. And then we brainstorm all together. And when I say all together, there are 2 or 3 departments. So you have the big boss of engineering, product planning, marketing, design managers. And after we discuss and brainstorm together, we come to a point where we say, okay, let's do this. To move on and understand a little bit more, we need to do this. Design will do some sketches, I don't know, to make a simulation so that we have a very light idea how things could change, to visualize, to see. Product planning will make more research. Engineering will try to make a list of the cost, because they have to say, wow, if we have to use this technology, I have to go and research the technology, see which supplier is able to give me that technology and at which price. At the same time, I cannot say to the supplier why I'm asking this question for the technology. So there is a lot of talks, who goes over here, who goes over there. And after 2-3 weeks, we meet again, and then we share what we did. That's a way to move on, to make sure that that briefing is modified together to the point where it is coherent, cohesive with the brand, the objective of the project, the cost objective, and what we will believe will be the right answer, okay, as a list of things to do to have an excellent project when it will come out in production in 2028. So now you understand a little bit better the role, that product planning has. In reality, product planning at the beginning of every project, I would say it's in the center, okay, of the project. We are all around, trying to ask, is okay if we do this? And they have a little bit of control of how to orientate philosophically, let's say, the literature, how to orientate things. Then we have the marketing that gives us a lot of information. And both combined give us, to designers and creative people, a very nice photo of what should we do for who, when it comes out, what type of look, what type of materials, what type of cost. So for us, it's easier to sketch because we know that we cannot sketch a Rolls-Royce type of a car, but we know that we don't have to sketch the cheapest car in the world. So all those information help us to position ourselves creatively to the right level. And then we start sketching. We put together a small team and designers start working. Then there will be design product manager like me that check. I am the link between the designers, design director, design manager, and the rest of the company. And the same thing, product planning, marketing people, engineering people do the same thing. They have their managers that they will bring down, scale down the information so that the engineers do their job. The cost people from the cost will go and talk to the suppliers and go into their mission. Marketing people, maybe they have to do some extra, slides or extra research. Product planning people that work for the manager have to put together new information to element, to give us more information. So you see, little by little, the project gets to a point where we can say, you know what, we are ready. Then, if everybody is okay, we have a cost estimation that is more or less correct, even if it's not correct, but it gives an idea of investments, because that's the most important thing. The investment and how much we can gain at the end of the game. When are we gonna make 50,000 cars or 200,000 cars per year if we do the project this way? So how do we know? Well, when we finish this part, basically there is a big presentation with the super boss of the company, and the super boss of the company listens to all those directors that will show, the presentation, all the slides and everything, including the design simulation. And after we'll say, you know what, we believe it's good, let's invest. In that case, we start an official planning, which means you will start officially the project. And then, of course, there will be a feedback that will say, on that thing we have to be cheaper. On the other thing we can produce, I don't know, in China. And with that thing we have to go and search for another supplier because this one is not good, we have to go and search for the other one. Design-wise, I will say, yeah, but I want a research of design codes, elements produced by the best competitors, the best brands, and let's analyze that together with product planning, because we want to make sure that we don't want to do the same thing, but we have to do better. Therefore, we have to really know well what the other people did already or what they are supposed to do. In the meanwhile, we always can find some information on internet. If we search few things you can find. And therefore, we start that project, which means that still we are updating it. It's not that it's fixed, we still can change little things, but more or less we know what we do, for who we will do it, and how much it has to cost, and when it will come out in production. Therefore, when we start that, what happens? Happens that we start a planning, a project planning. And I already did the last year, I think last year or 2 years ago, a lesson live on a Friday about the planning. Ciao Uden, welcome back. And so I don't know if you want me to talk to you again about the planning, how we construct the planning, and why it's so important for designers to have a good planning. Eventually, if you want to go deeper on this, you can go and check my videos that I've done recently, like a year ago or 2 years ago. I don't remember really well. Can you please explain about product design engineering? Yes, I will explain a little bit. Yes. Because product design engineer, Udan, I don't know if you were with us since the beginning of this live, because as you know, at the beginning, for about 5 minutes, I always give all the information about hiring design jobs of the week, the one I find on the internet that are available. And I give all the information, like this one, you see, we talked about all that. But there is one that is junior mechanical designer. And if you are interested, you could probably apply. It's in France. Okay, it's a Dassault system. It's a junior mechanical designer for 3D modeling and creation. So I guess it's between CATIA and alias modeling, but with engineering or technical knowledge. Okay, that's the system. And Udan, if you didn't see this before, it's enough that you go up to this chat that I have here on my right, or the chat you guys have, and you will find the information, because I typed down, I wrote down all the information about this. That's the system, okay, company. All right, so now, thank you, Dimitrios. Again, a very nice small beer. This is a 0.25 beer. It's draft beer, $4. Thank you very much. Thanks. By the way, I take advantage of this beautiful present that Dimitrios just gave me, because it's for the channel. If you like to become a member of this channel, as I explained several times, you can become just a supporter like Ganesh. Ganesh basically it's paying $1 per month, okay? Simple supporter, and he gets also, if he wants to, 15% discount on my ebooks. But if you would like to be also a member that spends the $4 per month, every month, then I will give you 50% discount for on my ebooks, and one specific video only for members every week. Okay, so once a week. All right, said that. Thank you again, Dimitrios, for that. I will drink at your success. Okay, go and check Dimitrios' Instagram page with all the beautiful artwork he just published in the latest, the last 48 hours. Okay, good. So, Udan asked, what is product design engineering? Now, I'll give you the definition about what I understood, okay? Because product design engineering is an engineer, so somebody that did mechanical engineering, okay? Or aviation engineering. Somebody that is an engineer with a very strong passion about car design, of course, or innovation technology for design, for automobile design. Those are engineers, in general, they are young, that are part of advanced design and research development centers. Okay. Now, what is an R&D, research and development center in design? Every big company has an R&D studio. Now, some people call R&D, but today they call it with different names because the trend is to change the names. But the truth is that R&D is a big team, it's an important team on which every company invests a lot of money, okay, especially if it's a big company. Why? Because at the R&D, we do projects not to go to production tomorrow morning, but to study future technology applications directly on products that could go to production one day, or to make running prototypes with a very beautiful design, very modern design, to represent and make demos, okay, it's like a tutorial, let's say, of how the technology works in how it could work in reality. So you make a model that is a unique model, it's a running prototype done in fiberglass or in sheet metal, it depends, but has a real structure, okay? You can drive it, has a real engine, whether it's electric or an ICE engine, okay? Has a real new design, a design of a car that does not exist. And if you have new technology, I don't know, for example, the steering wheel will move up and then it will go inside the dashboard and the dashboard closes. We can do that. So if you want to show this to the super big boss and say, hey, look what we're doing. You know, we are making the car tomorrow where the steering wheel will be hidden completely inside the dashboard. I mean, I'm saying whatever, okay? Then you put the money on that project. Engineers will make the project. The designers will design the dashboard and everything goes with that. And then they will take a real car, make a completely full interior of that car, and will make the new design dashboard with all the mechanism that is working, okay, so that they can make a demo, a tutorial of that innovation, okay? And the people, the engineers that work on this type of prototypes are called product engineering, design engineers, because they work with designers. They don't work with designers to say you must use this technology because the cost is low cost and that's it. No, that's in production. That stuff happens in production. That's the big fight, you know. But in research and development, the point of view, the objective, the mission of an engineer, product design engineer, and designers are the same. Both of them have to get the best looking and working results to explain and show the advantages of a certain type of technology application. All right? So budget in this case is not a problem. The timing, 6 months of work, no more than that. Because if you do more than 6 months, then research and development has to go a little bit fast, because other people, they run, especially in China or in India. So we cannot take 1 year to develop something like that. You have to complete in 6-8 months. All right, so now, in this case, I would say that the product design engineer has a great opportunity, if he's in love with car design, to work really close in the same building, the same studio with designers. He will participate to the meetings with designers. They work together. And I think that that's very nice. Okay, I did work for 9 years into a research and design development center in the company where I work, and that's how we got the Twizy. Because at the beginning, Twizy was a research and development project that lasted 4 months, 5 months. Then we worked 5 more months to make the prototype. And after that, we presented, and the president said, I want this into production. And from one day to another, the whole thing changed. It became a real project that kept the original design. That's interesting also. We did not change the design. Not really much. Okay. All right. So, Udan, please tell me if I answered, if you are satisfied with my answer. Okay. All right. Now it's 7 o'clock. I think that I am done. If you have other questions or if you want to offer me another coffee, please use the button just like Dimitrios did. Okay? Encourage me in this channel. Remember to talk to your friends about this channel because we need to make this channel grow. And I can do this only with you, with nobody else. Okay? I can put the content, you can suggest me the content, but you can do advertising to my about my channel with your classmates, with your friends, with other people on your social, on your social networks, followers and stuff. Okay, so thank you very much. I go and drink some water. Meanwhile, if you want to ask me another question, please write down. Okay, I drink water. I'll be back less than a minute. Okay, Ganesh, sir, sometimes I wonder the automotive design industry nowadays seems more oriented toward human desires such as enhanced comfort, luxury, artificial intelligence, and autonomous vehicles. Instead, we should create a balanced transportation design with nature. Because according to a US report, by 2050, sea level increased by 12 inches about, yeah, I know that, you're right. Rajat, yes, we get in the briefing, thanks to the engineering department, also all the dimensions. And those are discussed and accepted with product planning, which are a little bit responsible the macro dimension of the car, because that project has to get into a category of cars, therefore cannot be too long, too tall, or too short. You understand? Okay, so I can make better design than you. Okay, Subham, I'm really happy that you can do that, and I encourage you to do that because I am old, I'm really old. You think that I look young, I'm old. So you are young. Therefore, your creativity is much, much better, for sure. And I encourage you to sketch every day just as I do, okay, since 40 years. So you can get even better. All right, so Ganesh, yes, I understand your point of view. It's true. But you must understand also that when you have a company that makes massive investments, so puts a lot of money, a lot of money invested, when they have to make a project that has to go into production in the next 3 years, they cannot anticipate too fast what will happen in 2050. Because the market, and this is a human thing, the market will look at that car and will say, that thing is ugly, I don't buy it. And if people don't buy a car, then you have a lot of money invested and you don't have an economical comeback, which means you don't gain money. If you don't gain money, your company, a big company, will close in less than a year, and more than 100,000 people will go on the streets with no paycheck. So of course we cannot do that. So the responsibility of those, the CEO, president, all those people, directors, is to make sure that if we have to go to anticipate some innovation, we have to know which innovation we can introduce today or tomorrow, and which one has to be introduced in 5 years. Because if we anticipate too much, or if we get into the wrong timing, then it's gonna be a big failure. And when you get a big failure with a big company, or also with a small company, the risk is too high to close down, to really close down. And that's of course something that nobody wants. So that's why, Ganesh, I think that what you say is right. We will get to that, but step by step. We cannot simply make it because we already have some information. Because the majority of the people, those that will buy the cars that are the market, will not follow. And therefore, it's like we wasted our time and our money, a lot of money. Rajat, sir, are there great design school in Australia? Yes, there is one in Australia. It is not bad at all. Now, I don't have the name under my eyes, but there is one. Wait, let me see if I can go on internet, okay? I'll try to go on internet. Okay, I am on internet. Let me see, because there was a game. Let me write down. Transportation Design School Australia. Because there is Ford over there. Yeah, I have a list of design schools in Australia. Yeah, Monash University. Monash University in Australia. Check on internet because there is a lot. Yeah, Monash I saw. They are also on Instagram, okay? Abhishek, ciao, come stai? Ciao. Compared to mass production, how much time does the product planning team invest on exotic car companies? There is a different thing. That's a little bit different. You're talking about, like, for example, Lamborghini Countach, Ferrari, all those supercars. No, they have the same, and they basically do the same things. There is no big difference. The big difference is that they have a lot of extra money, a bigger budget. Therefore, they can do different things. But they are on different markets, But basically, the thing is the same. It's not that different. Ganesh, true, sir. But I'm saying to create some new kind of transportation vehicle, go underwater or under soil. Yes, I agree with you, Ganesh. But at the moment, an automobile company like Fiat or like, I don't know, Tata, they will never go on projects like this. But there are other companies, like, for example, Bombardier, no? They do all sort of other transportation projects, and probably those are the companies they should try to make projects like the one you say. Company can make money from tourism underwater or something like that, sir, because 80% of what is undiscovered, but moon and other planets. Yeah, okay, I understand, but that's a completely different type of business. That's a service business, which is not bad, because a lot of services will be integrated in those big companies. So that's not bad. But when you get into a new business, you cannot just jump in if you never done that business before and you are from a different business, because the risk of failing is very, very high. So if you want to get into services, then you have to rely on other people that do this since a longer time, and then means that you have to negotiate new contracts. But that's exactly what's happening today with the startup companies, you know. So Ganesh, what you're talking about does not mean that in the next 5 years will not happen. Maybe there are people already talking about those things and we don't know, because there are a lot of startup companies that try to find and search new markets, new niche, to investigate and you know, use them to make more money or differentiate the markets. So this might happen. What car do you drive? Just curious. I have a Renault Arcana. That's my company car. Orange color, and it is an RS version. It's a sporty version, automatic. Very nice car. I like it. Kind of fast. All right. So, thank you very much. I think we did a very nice we had a very nice design talk, a very nice Friday together live. Thank you very much again for being with me. I am very happy that Dimitrios offered me this nice beer. Okay, thank you again. Thank you very much for being there. Thank you very much for putting likes, okay, or sharing this video once we'll be on tomorrow morning. All right, and I hope it was useful to you. The last question, Rajat. I have no idea, to be honest. I will never go on a car that goes on water. Maybe better a nice boat. A very nice boat. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ganesh. I'm very happy that you like the discussion. Okay, the topics, and see you next Friday. Ciao. Grazie.